All right, let's take a look at the middle of the table. Teams that are looking to leapfrog into that upper half and teams who are trying to stay there. Let's make a pick with Washington Spirit versus Orlando Pride. This one kicking off Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Missing a lot of players for the Spirit
Mhm.
in this one. And for Orlando Pride, respect to them, they're going to be without some pretty significant players. I mean, we just did an episode where we were talking about Brazil's roster drop. Marta and Adriana will not be available for Orlando Pride. And we know that Orlando Pride looks and plays a bit different when they've got Marta in that lineup. And honestly, when they've got Adriana as well. So for the Spirit, no Rodman, no Sanchez, no Kingsbury, no Sullivan. This is four of your
Yeah.
starting players. So this is a very difficult pick, I think, when we're looking at who's available and who's not, and when we're looking at recent form in terms of who's trending up and who's been trending down. Do you have is this your draw, Lisa? I gotta ask because is there I don't know if there's a winner and loser in this one.
I'm not sugarcoating it. This is my draw of the weekend. Washington, Orlando. It's at Audi Field. Familiar teams with each other because they're in the same Challenge Cup group. They also have played each other in regular season already. Orlando getting the best of Washington in that game. That was May 20th, 2-1 win for the Pride over the Spirit. Marta getting that penalty kick goal. Strom getting one in the run of play. Sam Staub, defender, getting one off a set piece opportunity for Washington to just climb back into it. But this is my draw between these two sides. I think there's just too many pieces missing for honestly both of them in like the way that they're playing at this point. Orlando coming off back-to-back losses. They've dropped 4 of their last 5. The Pride is struggling a bit. They go on the road, though. They tend to do better on the road than they do at home. Washington Spirit also coming off a loss, but it's the only game that they've lost in their last 5. So Washington, of course, in a bit of better form, but they're without big players right now. And I think that's going to change. We've seen others step up. I've been really impressed with Paige Mater for Mark Parsons and this Washington Spirit side, and Orlando as well. I think Kylie Strom has done well. Via Corta, Abello. There's been really good pieces. Clough, we're starting to see a little bit more from, but I just think that it's going to be too tough for either of these sides to walk away with all 3 points, and that's why they're going to split them in my mind, going with a draw between these two.
Watch this be some wild shootout. You know, it always ends up kind of leaning that way. Look, you touched on the players that I'm going to keep an eye on. I think for the Spirit, I think when we have covered this team, even out of the draft and earlier this year in January, wanting to pick up players that they knew that they would get to build with over the course of a season. Paige Mater is absolutely one of those players. If there's a way for Spirit to kind of play a bit of a set piece game within this match, I think maybe Paige Mater could sneak one in there. We've seen her do that as well for this team, you know, getting in the right places during corner kicks. But I don't know if it'll come down to that. I think there's going to be players who line up on both sides of the ball that want to play. You know, this is going to be an opportunity for them to kind of flex what they have been building towards over the course of the first half of the season. But when I'm looking at the Spirit, I think while we're talking about some of these first year players that can have an impact, I'm also still looking at a Sam Staub in this one. This is not only an excellent defensive player, but she's great in her distribution, can absolutely help spearhead and facilitate an attack if needed. You know, they still have Ashley Hatch, who is going to be without players to feed her the ball. But I'm curious about how she will try to adapt her game in the absence of a Rodman or a Sanchez. So even though this was tough for me, I think I'm going to go with the Spirit in this one against.
Ooh.
I think being at home is going to help them out a little bit. Audi Fields, you know, first year they're playing all their games there this year. They've turned it into a unique place to play for them. I won't say that they've turned it into a fortress, but it hasn't been easy for oppositions to go in there and pick up a win. So I'm looking for them to maybe pick up a narrow one here against the Pride.
Okay.
Let's make our final pick. We've got Gotham FC versus Angel City. We're gonna get a closeout here with an East Coast and West Coast battle. Gotham had their Challenge Cup game postponed due to weather and travel effects. So they do not have a midweek match that they're rolling over into this weekend, but Angel City does, and they are going to be the ones on the road this one. Catch this one on Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Even though they're the ones on the road, Lisa, they're coming off of a win, though. Got to be motivated for that.
Massive. I think Angel City is flying after their Challenge Cup win 2-1 over San Diego last night. Opening 20 minutes, they get 2 goals. They go up 2-0, and they score goals in, I think, really positive ways. The first one comes off a corner kick in the opening 2 minutes of this match, and Madison Hammond gets her first NWSL goal off the corner kick, which that's the beauty of set pieces. They tend to open up the game if you can score on them, because it takes pressure off the forwards, because not oftentimes, but on set pieces, there's more opportunity for defenders, for deeper players in the field to score on those goals, which takes pressure off the forwards and allows them to play a bit more freely throughout a game. It really opens things up. And that's exactly what we saw happen, because just about 15 minutes after that opening goal, there's great combination play between Savannah McCaskill, Cambreros, and then Clarice Lebion, who finishes this goal. It's like a 3-man weave basketball style, the way this happens. And frankly, it was pretty bad defense on San Diego's part, how this second goal developed for Angel City, but they stayed on top of it. Like, they didn't make sloppy passes. It's not like it was really bad offense from Angel City that resulted in this goal. It was great offense, limited defense that Angel City took advantage of. And frankly, that's what I want to continue to see them do against this Gotham side, because this matchup between Angel City and Gotham, it's going to be played at Red Bull Arena. So I think advantage to Gotham that they didn't have to travel to Exploria during the midweek and then come back. Now, they did have to sit in an airport, maybe wait for delayed flights. Like, they didn't have a great travel day earlier this week, and that's why their midweek game ended up getting canceled. But now they are at home. That's the advantage that I'm going to give to Gotham. In terms of players missing in that front, Angel City, they've got a couple in Julie Ertz, Alyssa Thompson for U.S. internationals, Allie Riley potentially to be missing. She's on the prelim roster for New Zealand, June Endo. A lot of different pieces happening there, but Gotham as well. Brunina, Sinead Farley, Ifeoma Anamanu, Christy Mewis, Kelly O'Hara, Lynn Williams, the last 3 with the United States. But I'm impressed with Angel City and with Becky Tweed and what this team did midweek, how they're going to go into Gotham. I'm giving it to the LA side. I think it's the battle of the big cities, right? Los Angeles and New York. Stars are out, and I'm going to give it to Angel City. I am.
East Coast, West Coast, and you know what? I'm with you. I'm with Angel City on this one. I think Becky Tweed. I think Becky Tweed wants this one, and I think she's going to get it. I like the rotation from Angel City in this one by Becky Tweed. We're going to get treated to Sarah Gordon, locking down whoever is going to try to attack, because that's my question mark. Who's getting the goals for Gotham in this game? We know there's not going to be a Lynn Williams. We know there's not going to be a Kristen Lewis. We know that Purse is back, but how many minutes is she going to get in this match? We know that Yasmin Ryan is a player that can get out there and get after things, but I think that there's going to be enough here from Becky Tweed and her game plan to get things rolling against Gotham. I'm curious of what that availability report is going to look like. I know that players, the deadline in the league is for players to be able to head off with their teams after the 26th. But we saw Ellie Riley with Angel City. I mean, it all depends on when and how and where these national teams are ready to call in these players, right? So I'm very curious if we're still going to see Allie Riley available in this game, and if she is, I think that's going to be massive for Angel City. But Savannah McCaskill, I really like what Scarlett Camberos is bringing on for this team in this second half of the season. She's got 2 assists already in consecutive games. I love her defensive work rate as a forward. It's an absolute delight to witness. It looks like she is finally looking comfortable with this Angel City side and playing within the league. So I'm curious if there's has the makings of a goal finally in this one for her. But I don't know. It looks like she's been setting him up more than she's been knocking him in. But is she also going to get the start because she just got the start, in Challenge Cup? So how how is the attack going to look in this one? How many minutes can Sydney LaRue give this team against Gotham? If she's going to be available to go.
I think the Becky tweet of it all is one of the most interesting factors, right? Formerly coached with Gotham. She's going back there. She's now leading Angel City as the interim head coach. I think that pump up talk from Becky tweet pregame locker room on the field is going to be the electrifying factor that pushes it over the top.
I like that we're ending on what people might think is a bold pick, but hopefully we get to talk about how
the same way too. That's the best part.
Hopefully we'll get to talk about it and it ends up working in our favor. If not, we'll talk about it either way. But that is a wrap